She said, "You only got me because he didn't want me back after a year together." So I thanked her for the clarity and never looked back. Now she's calling me crying because he blocked her again. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I always knew there was something off about how he started. Lena and I had been dating for just over a year. She was beautiful in the quiet, disarming way that made people underestimate her until she spoke. Smart, sarcastic, always a little emotionally guarded, but I figured that came with her history. I met her a few months after her last breakup. She told me he broke her heart, that she had no idea why he ended things. It was a long relationship, full of drama and pain. I listened, I supported her, and honestly, I was just happy to be the guy who treated her right after someone else didn't. For the first 6 months, I gave her nothing but patience. She cried about him once. It was late, she was half asleep, and we were lying in bed when she mumbled, "I thought he was the one." I froze. But the next morning she acted normal, kissed me on the cheek, and made coffee like nothing happened. I chalked it up to a moment of weakness. I told myself, healing isn't linear. She's with me now. I just have to be steady. So I stayed steady. I gave her space when she needed it. I gave her time when she got distant. And I never, not once, made her feel guilty for not being all in emotionally, even when I was already halfway drowning in her. Looking back, I realize I ignored a lot of signs. Like how she never said, "I love you" first, or how she hesitated when people asked how we met, or how she seemed to light up when she bumped into mutual friends of her ex, even if she pretended otherwise afterward. But I thought I could earn her trust. I thought if I showed up for her every single day, eventually she'd let me all the way in. I didn't grow up with a lot of stability, so being with someone who needed mine made me feel useful, important. I didn't realize how dangerous that can be, loving someone who only sees you as safe, not special. Still, I meant every word I ever said to her. Every plan I made. I never cheated, never raised my voice, never made her feel small. My biggest sin was thinking that being good to her would eventually make her forget whatever she was still chasing. It didn't. And the night she finally told me the truth, it hit harder than anything I ever saw coming. It happened on a Tuesday night. We were sitting on the couch after dinner, something stupid playing on Netflix in the background. She had been quiet all evening, distant in that way she got sometimes, like her body was present, but her mind was somewhere else. I asked gently, "Everything okay?" She didn't answer right away. Just stared at the TV like it was more interesting than me. Then finally, she said, "Do you ever feel like none of this was supposed to happen?" I turned to face her. "What do you mean?" She sighed and rubbed her temples. "Like, you ended up with the wrong person. Life just kind of throws you into something safe, and before you know it, you're stuck with someone who isn't even supposed to be part of your story." I sat there, stunned. "Are you saying I'm not supposed to be part of your story?" Her voice sharpened. "You're twisting my words. I'm asking you to explain them." She stood up, walked to the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water, and leaned against the counter. Then she looked me dead in the eye and said it. "You only got me because he didn't want me back. If he had, I wouldn't even know your name." I didn't move, didn't blink, just silence. She kept going like she hadn't just gutted me. "I mean, let's be real. You knew I was a mess when you found me. You knew I was still hung up on him. You thought being the nice guy would earn you something. But it didn't. You were just convenient. Someone to hold me together until I felt like myself again." Her voice wasn't cruel. It was cold, like she was stating facts, not tearing me apart. "You should be grateful, honestly. Most guys never get a chance with someone like me. I gave you more than I planned to." I stood up slowly. My hands were shaking, but my voice came out even. "I don't know what kind of twisted logic you think makes any of that okay." She scoffed. "Oh, come on. Don't act like you didn't sense it. You just didn't want to admit it. You thought you could fix me, and I let you try." I walked over to the kitchen, not to yell, not to plead, just to get close enough to see her clearly for the first time since we met. "Thanks," I said quietly. "For what?" she asked, almost annoyed. "For finally saying it out loud." She crossed her arms. "So that's it. You're walking away because of one honest conversation." I nodded. "Exactly. One honest conversation. The first one we've ever had." I grabbed my keys. Didn't pack a bag. Didn't slam the door. I just left. She didn't try to stop me. Because in her mind, she still believed she was the one in control. That belief wouldn't last. I didn't text her the next day, or the day after that. I didn't answer the 5 missed calls, the 3 "Are you serious?" texts, or the final one that just said, "Wow, so you're really doing this?" Yes, I was. I stayed at a buddy's place for the first few nights. Slept like garbage. Not because I regretted leaving, but because the version of her I'd built in my head was still clashing with the real one she revealed. That takes time to reconcile. I kept replaying her words like a loop I couldn't shut off. "You only got me because he didn't want me back." She said it so casually, like it was nothing. Like she hadn't built a whole year of our lives on a lie. Like I was supposed to understand. And maybe that was the worst part. She actually thought she was being real. That being used as an emotional backup plan should be something I was grateful for. The truth hit like a slow poison. It wasn't just about the ex. It was about everything. Every time she withheld affection. Every time she acted like being seen with me was a favor. Every moment she made me feel lucky just to be chosen. It all made sense now. She wasn't broken. She was entitled. She didn't want love. She wanted an audience. So I cut her off completely. No calls. No explanations. No drawn-out closure. I returned her things through a mutual friend. Texted him the address and said, "Please drop this off. I'm done." I untagged myself from every photo. Changed my number. Started hitting the gym again. Cooked my own meals. Took long walks. Reread books I hadn't touched in years. There was no grand revenge glow-up. Just a quiet, steady return to myself. People don't realize how loud peace feels when you've lived under emotional manipulation for a year. She tried once more, 2 weeks after I left. I was sitting outside a coffee shop, reading, when her name popped up on my old email account. Subject line, "Just hear me out." I didn't open it. That was the day I realized I didn't need her to explain. I didn't need closure. She already gave it to me, in one line that told me everything I ever needed to know. And she was about to learn what silence really feels like. I didn't go looking for updates. But the world has a way of dropping them on your doorstep anyway. About a month after I left, I got a message from a mutual friend, someone who had always been more her friend than mine. She wasn't reaching out to play messenger. She just wanted to vent. "You won't believe this," she wrote. "Lena's back with Ryan. Ryan, the infamous ex. The one she hadn't talked to in forever. The one I apparently only got a chance with because he didn't want her back at the time. Now apparently he did. For a week or two, her social media turned into a cringe highlight reel of passive-aggressive triumph. Selfies captioned, "Some things fall apart, so better things can fall together." Photos of their dinner dates. A clip of them driving with some recycled TikTok audio about real men knowing what they want. It was like watching someone try to audition for the life she always wanted. Except the desperation bled through every post. Then it stopped. Just like that. Everything disappeared. Pictures gone. Bio wiped. Then came the vague, sad updates. Healing isn't linear. Sometimes you don't get closure. You just move on. No one ever really stays. I said nothing. I watched nothing. But people kept sending me screenshots anyway. A few weeks later, she started reaching out. At first, it was tame. "I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything." Then, "I don't know what I was thinking. You were the only person who ever actually showed up for me." Then, "Ryan was a mistake. He hasn't changed. He used me. You don't know the things he said to me." I didn't reply. She tried texting, then calling from a blocked number, then messaging a mutual friend to just pass along that I still care. When that didn't work, the tone shifted. "You think ignoring me makes you strong? You're just running from your feelings. Typical. You wouldn't even have this new confidence if I hadn't broken you first. Let's not pretend you're some prize now." She wanted control again. That was all this was. Her world had collapsed, and she needed someone to feel smaller than her. But I wasn't that guy anymore. She broke me open, yeah, but that's where all the rot poured out, too. She thought her words were going to haunt me forever. What she didn't realize is that her voice no longer reached where I lived. A couple months later, I ran into her mom. Completely by accident. I was getting coffee near my new place. I'd moved across town to be closer to work and farther from memories. And there she was, sitting alone, fidgeting with a half-eaten muffin. She looked up and gave a soft, awkward smile. "Daniel, hi, how are you?" "Good," I said simply. She asked how work was, how my parents were, All the usual small talk. Then she hesitated. I know you probably don't want to hear about Lena, she said, but she's not doing great. I didn't respond. Just raised my eyebrows a little. She thought she had something real with that guy, Ryan. But turns out he was seeing someone else the whole time. Told her he was never serious and that she was just convenient. Her voice lowered. She hasn't been the same since you left. She's been staying with us again. I think she's starting to realize what she lost. I nodded once. Gave a neutral, non-committal mm. A few days later, Lena showed up at my building. I don't know how she found out where I lived. Probably asked someone. Or maybe followed me. Either way, I walked out of the elevator and there she was, standing by the entrance, arms crossed tight across her chest. Her expression softened when she saw me. Can we talk? She asked, almost like we hadn't already passed the point of no return 3 times over. I didn't say anything, but I held the door for her out of politeness. We stepped outside. I messed up, she started, voice low. I was so stupid, Daniel. I took you for granted. I let my ego run everything. And when you didn't chase me, I thought I won. But I didn't. I lost everything. I watched her as she spoke, but I didn't move closer. I didn't give her anything. You said I'd regret it one day. And I do. I'm sorry for what I said. For what I did. For how I treated you like you were just practice for something better. There was silence. She stepped forward. I don't expect you to forgive me. I miss you. I miss us. I miss how safe I felt with you. And there it was. That one word. Safe. Not loved. Not wanted. Not admired. Safe. You don't actually miss me, I said calmly. You miss what I gave you. Stability. Loyalty. Peace. Her eyes flicked up. She swallowed hard. Is that such a bad thing? I shrugged. Not if it came with respect. But you didn't want that. You wanted the thrill. You wanted someone who made you feel chaotic. So that's what you chased. Her face crumpled slightly. She looked away. I just thought, maybe now, with time. No, I said. That version of me you discarded? He's gone. And the one standing in front of you doesn't have anything left to offer you. She blinked fast, then tried to laugh like it didn't sting. Wow. You think you're so above me now, huh? No, I said. I just stopped seeing you as someone worth shrinking for. She stared at me. No words. Just wounded silence. Then I walked away. Again. This time not out of pain, but peace. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.